So it's the English Premier League game week 34 is upon us, as game week 33 just passed. And trust me, most of my predictions were correct. I did predict that Manchester United were most likely to lose, even though I expected them to at least have scored a goal, but they didn't. Of course, I predicted Arsenal to win. Arsenal did win. Predicted Man City to win. Man City did win. So all Arsenal's victory was able to do was one, pretty much secure second spot, and then just delay Liverpool's victory parade by one more game. Now, if Liverpool wins their next game, which is tomorrow, thereabout, during the week, either tomorrow or next, I'll still do a preview of that game. Then they are certain Premier League 2024-2025 season winners. It's been pretty much obvious for a while, actually. It was just a matter of how many games they're gonna win it. I mean, by how many games were going to be left for them to have been declared winners, especially after some of the pretty poor results Arsenal has had. Too many draws. Arsenal has had too many draws this season. As you can see in the top 10, only Brighton has drawn as many games as Arsenal, which is 12. Arsenal has drawn 12 games this season. Arsenal has drawn 12 games this season. I've only lost one game more than Liverpool, but has drawn as much as 5 games more than Liverpool. 5 games more than Liverpool, and have lost one more game than Liverpool. That accounts for the current 13-point gap between Liverpool and Arsenal. Liverpool are worthy champions. Hey, the table doesn't lie. Over 33 games, Liverpool have pretty much been the better team. We can't give excuse of series of injuries or referee indecisions, because every team suffers from these things. So currently, beginning from game week 34, which is the games that are scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday this week, for Liverpool, all they need to do is to avoid defeat, and they're champions. I think if they win, it's sealed. Even if they draw, I think it's still pretty much sealed. Arsenal, on the other hand, are a good 7 points ahead of third place Newcastle. So and a further 8 points ahead of Manchester City. So technically, with a victory in the fourth game, in game week 34, Arsenal should be pretty much have secured Champions League for next season. Even though there's still, as we Arsenal fans, a nitty-gritty feeling that we will be crowned Champions League champions. We could be crowned as the champions of Europe. We could be crowned as the champions of Europe. So, the only thing left to fight for, relegation is pretty much settled. All the teams that came up, Ipswich Town, Leicester City, and Southampton have gone. Will by this next match game pretty much secured, settled. They are all relegated. As it stands, they are all relegated, because the points difference between them and the West Ham, I think, in West Ham in 17th is something like 15 points or thereabouts. So there's no crawling back from that. There's no crawling back from that. So what is left now is who is going to finish in the European places. Arsenal, who is currently sitting second, if they win their next 2 matches, are good to go. By the time they win the next 2 matches to begin week 35, and mathematically second spot will be secured. But for Newcastle, Man City, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, any of these teams still have a mathematical chance of finishing in the Champions League spots. That is third, fourth, and fifth. So the games that will be very, very interesting and will have a lot on it will be the games that involve Newcastle, Manchester City, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, and Aston Villa. Aston Villa did very good for themselves when they defeated Newcastle 5-1. That was a result I don't think anybody saw coming. However, Aston Villa were able to get that victory against Newcastle, a direct Champions League spot rival, and made sure that Newcastle does not go away with the third position. Manchester City will be looking also to secure their spot, because if they drop any points, if they fail to win their next, if they do not win their next game, they can drop as far as 7th position if they do not win this next game. So Manchester City, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, and Aston Villa have a lot still to play for. All the other teams, from Bournemouth all the way down to West Ham, are pretty much settled where they are. Bournemouth to be almost impossible now for Bournemouth to catch up with Aston Villa anymore. So, to catch up with Chelsea, because Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, and Chelsea are on the same points, which is 8 points above Bournemouth. But that 8 points is not secured for any of them yet, because Bournemouth will still see themselves as having an outside chance. So a lot of things still to play for. So there's still some interesting games, and we'll be previewing those games in subsequent videos. See you in the next video.